Hey, everybody, this is the Jim Deedlow podcast. Go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can listen to my stuff anytime, day or not, if you want. This is from middle of November in 2025. We were kind of hopefully on the end of the longest governmental shutdown in history. And it affected a lot of people, and there was a huge needs at food banks, and there were a lot of people that just needed to come into the North Township office and ask for a little help. And here I am with Adrian Santos. I actually had about 15 minutes between my last segment and then when Adrian does his show, the North Township Trustee Show. So he comes in and we kind of screwed around a little bit, but then we get to the kind of serious topic of the increased need. I think there was a month and a half wait to be seen, and unless you walked in, and he kind of goes through some of that, but it was tough times. And here it is from the middle of November in 2025. Hey, let's take some phone calls. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
This is a collect call from Lake County Jail. Would you accept charges from... Hey, it's Mad Mac. Let me on. Jimmy, it's Mac. I got a call.
I think this is... Hold on a second. Stop for a second. This is where you need to make an executive decision. All right, hey, you're on the air. She made her decision. Hey, you're on the air.
How ironic! What a terrible joke. Hey, I got a question for you. Are you taking suggestions for the name of the new sports network? Because I got one for you. Save you $500,000 you're wasting on all these marketing experts of moving down the street and all this other crazy stuff, which is going to contribute zero to your viewership or listenership. What's the new name?
It's not me. It's for Sam and Peter and Matt to bring out. I don't. It's not mine. Go ahead. What's your suggestion?
How about the Ned Sports Network? Then you only got to change one letter. You just put a piece of tape over everything. Change it to a J to an N.
I like it. Thank you for your phone call. I want to read something. Hey, come on in. You could come in. He's over there doing a dance and trying to make me laugh like I'm like some sort of child or something. I can't control myself or something. You think there's anything you could do that would make me laugh or lose my concentration? Come and sit down. It's when you walk in here, I'm the boss. Sit down, okay? I want to read this again. In a rare statement, well, I'll introduce you and we'll screw around.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't matter. There you go. Yeah, all right, there it is. He's on the blue one, whatever that is. Adriana, is that okay if I bring him in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Prepared for the couch.
Look at you, man.
Good morning.
How you doing? We're not on your show right now, so I can
Peteyville. Bummed about Peteyville, man. You know, I've been to a couple of their openings of Peteyville and their party and their Christmas party there at their home that evening, you know, before they do the grand, you know, kind of opening of the street. And pretty bummed out that we won't be able to drive by there and look at. So with that being said, if you're going to go out there and do lights and you need help, count me in. Count me in.
You got any skills?
I mean, I'm not going up the ladder, but I can do the lower stuff. I just refuse to fall off the roof. I refuse.
You don't want to pull a Clark Griswold?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, while everybody's inside, then plug the lights in, and then they come out, and when everybody comes off, they go off. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the lower level of the ground.
Well, he did have a good joke, like, Jed, we don't want you involved because every time it rains, the lights will go off. And that was kind of funny.
I did hear that.
I
did. And it was funny because I put some floodlights in front of my house, and after the snowstorm, and now mind you, I did it like 3 days prior to the snowstorm, so I put these floodlights out there, and I'm really excited. I told my wife, hey, I'm happy to see what the house is going to look like at night. It's going to shine because I put it on the exterior of the home. I'm like, it's going to really look real nice, you know, for a cheap price, because I asked somebody to come out to look at it. And
I almost made an ethnic joke that I can't make.
Probably shouldn't.
I would have made if we were off the air, and then you would have came back with an ethnic joke at me, and we would have been fine. But if we do it on the air right now, we'll both get in trouble.
Okay, so with that being said, after the first snowfall, the lights went out. And I'm like, I was bummed. I was super bummed. I looked at the wife. I said, "Hey, the lights are out," and she's looking at me like, she goes, "Well, it's the snow and everything that's probably leaves built up on there." I'm like, "Yeah, because I have a sensor where it's dusk till dawn." So I went out there and I cleaned the sensor last night, and it came back on.
Oh, it was a sensor. I was going to say. I had another.
See,
I had another off-color joke that I was going to make, and you bring that out in me.
Really
but,
got off.
But because
it's kind of scary to be talking to him this morning with all these off-color jokes he has. That maybe I should go out there and wait until it's our time to come back.
Don't you even act like when we have a
when we have a
right?
When we have
I don't want to even hear it now since it's so off-colored. No, don't say it.
When we have a social conversation, you're an EC guy and I'm a Munster Hammond guy, and we speak like
Munster
that.
Hammond? You could either be Munster or Hammond. I don't know how. You don't get.
I grew up in Hamster.
Frogville. I'm like, come on, get it right. I mean, it's
no, I grew up right behind Burger King over here in Munster.
You hung out? Is that what you did?
No, all my relatives are from Frogsville.
Oh, okay.
And so I would get dropped off there at 8 o'clock in the morning and go get lost.
Walk the blocks until school starts.
Until I run into a guy from Roxana that wants to beat me up. And then my cousin Phyllis has to come over and my cousin Patty has to come up. But anyways, you know what I thought?
I did hear you were a boxer, just the one.
Hey, listen, no, that you had... I'm guessing that you got pulled an extension cord out of your neighbor's garbage can that he was throwing away, because the grounding on, when you plug it in, it's got 3 things, and a lot of times the grounding piece will clip off. I just throw it away, but you would probably pick it out of the garbage and then plug that in, thinking it's still good because it has 2 plugs, but it doesn't have the ground. And then sometimes that can be affected because you don't have the grounding, that it'll go off when it gets wet.
So the key word in all of that was sometimes. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. Well, I haven't had it happen to me just yet. Although I had the grounding part break off, I still use the extension cord.
No, don't use it anymore.
And it worked. It worked.
Still works. You could use it indoors, but when you go outside, you need that third little thing for the grounding. I don't know. My grandpa told me that years ago.
Grounding on your outlet also. There's a bunch of grounding on everything before it makes it to the electrical box inside the house. But, okay.
How do you know this?
Well, Puerto Rican.
Oh, you said it, not me.
Yeah, well, we don't have to call anybody. We go down there and we figure it out. I mean, here, do I want to pay that crazy amount for an electrician to come down and tell me, hey, guess what? It's your extension cord. No, I try to figure all that out before I call somebody.
Hey, can I ask you a serious question?
I don't know. It depends on the question, but let's go.
This isn't a political. I don't want any political statement about it, but are you seeing more demand for assistance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that just absolutely.
I mean, obviously you have, sometimes the breadwinner in a family has been picked up by ICE. That's happened a lot here in the region. And then you have the government is shut down. Are you feeling it at the very local level?
Absolutely. So to answer your question, yes. And I'd be remissful if I didn't say that, kudos out to either church or social clubs or all these organizations that are out there are doing food pantries, that are collecting food for others. So many people concerned here in Northwest Indiana about others. And, that's what America's about. It's about being concerned about your neighbor, making sure your neighbor has the means or the wherewithal. If you see that you have a senior that can't shovel the snow and you're out there doing it, what's 5-10 minutes of your time to go out there and help your senior neighbor? So, yeah. It seems like there's a lot more food pantries. There's a lot more, we get a lot of the flyers from food banks in Northwest Indiana, and they're moving on. So here, you guys did it outside of your parking lot.
Well, we need to talk about that. Adriana has to make a decision on the Kuziak.
Wow. From I'm the boss here to Adriana has to make the decision. I was like, well, I mean, you should make Adriana
Well, let
the
me
boss.
tell you, the Sports Network, Sam and Peter got to make the decisions. And
Podcast.
Here on the radio or on the podcast, the radio's still kind of me, but she's got I want other people to make the decisions. You're the head of North Township. You have a really good, I guess, assistant out there. Don't you like to be known as Adrian's assistant? She probably hates that. But anyways.
Nikki. So we all, Nikki. And her name is Nicole, but we all.
I know who it is.
Nikki. No, what I'm saying
Nikki
is.
Micah.
Yeah, Nicole Micah. Nikki.
But anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. It was probably something to make fun of you, and I want you to know that while we were on here, I didn't once say the word Puerto Rican, okay?
Nor did you say cologne.
No, although I could smell it right now.
Smells good, doesn't it?
It smells like I'm in post 369 right now, getting a beer way too late on a Friday night.
It can't, depending on what 369 you're talking about, because it ain't the one in East Chicago anymore.
I know.
Because,
that's going back to Freddie Lemos bringing us over there.
Yeah, so.
Hey, so with the...
Shout out to Marty over there at 369.
So with the increased demand... and you're right. And by the way, if you go to Strachan Van Til right now and you round up, all that money is going to go to the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana because they need it right now. With this increased demand, how are you meeting the demand?
We're all hands and all feet on deck, man. Everybody in our office, from upstairs to the park, wherever we have to fill in, we fill in, because we know that our case managers get extremely busy, and especially now during these difficult times where people are lining up. They can only handle so many people a day. So, we myself and Nikki and our administrative staff met, and we say, hey, look, all hands on deck. If we got to move people around from the park, to an office to get this accomplished, to get people in and out of the door, then that's what we're going to do. We hope this temporary, shutdown kind of helps and relieves and opens up. I think that they vote last night.
They voted last night.
Okay, so they voted last night. So hopefully the relief or what people are supposed to get that are on these programs receive them very, shortly here in the full amount. Because if you don't, we're still dealing with folks that depend. A lot of people don't understand it. Folks that are on SNAP and depend on these programs, they budget themselves for these programs. Okay, so in the beginning of the month, if I'm budgeting for $500 and at the end of the month I only receive $3, I get half of what it still puts me in a bind because I budgeted for $500. So it's going to be a while before we get out of this mess. It won't be too long, but
specifically with SNAP, they were getting less, right? They were still getting it, but less, or some weren't getting it at all, right?
I don't know the logistics of whether they were getting it or not. I just know that I didn't hear. SNAP is released once a month, and it go by alphabetical letters. A through C is the first week, and then C through whatever is the next week. So not everybody's under the assumption that the beginning of the month. That's why it was so beat down on November. Come November 1st, if they haven't went back to work, meaning Congress and them folks in D.C., if they haven't went back, well then guess what? These release dates become very important because everybody's under the assumption at the beginning of the month you're going to get slammed. You're going to get everybody that's on these programs coming in your office. And we did some and half, but it's not like that because they release them in these quarters through the month. So we know that if you're in Z and you're coming in and you're asking for relief or something to be helped, we'll know by then that you wouldn't have received your SNAP benefits anyways. You wouldn't have got them to the end of the month. So we're going to ask you to come back at the end of the month, and then we'll deal with it because we're hoping that the government will open back up and they'll fund these different programs that they're not funding.
He's Adrian Santos. Stay tuned for his show. They're going to do it by themselves. They don't need me. Adrian and Nikki will be up next. Anything else that I need to tell people?
No, I have people in the chat talking about the coat drive.
Yes, I was going
to
say that before you. I was like, you can mention that.
All right,
or we'll talk about
the
that.
coat drive. They're going to open up the North
Yes.
Township Trustee Show. So I actually have an hour and a half, right?
Yes.
Can I go work out?
If you can
gonna
come back in time for Mastering Local
I
Marketing.
did you a favor.
You did, thank you. So they're going to talk about the coat drive and any other questions you have about assistance or about North Township. That'll be for the next half hour. And then PNW has an hour. And then I'll be back at 9 o'clock with 4 different podcasts. I'm going to go work out at the Y. Thanks for sitting in.
In your helmet, your bike helmet's going to smell. Superb.
Did you put after?
People in the chat were saying how you didn't give him a hug.
No, see, they didn't see behind the camera. When I walked in, I put his bike helmet on because he had it out there, and I seen his bike out there, and I said, "Oh, let me rub." on me.
And he rubbed some aftershave in my bike helmet. I think I'm going to have to throw it out.
Who wears aftershave anymore? That is so 1960. Hey, put a bit of aftershave on me. And nobody does that anymore. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
See, I told you that off camera and off microphone, he is actually a very funny and charming man.
Stop me when I'm wrong. Who wears aftershave? Do you wear aftershave when you shave?
We'll be right back.
Exactly. There goes the
I'm
answer.
the voice and face of the region. Radio doesn't always work out like you think it should, or shouldn't time out like you should. So I think what happened there was I had 15 minutes left with nothing planned, and Adrian Santos was more than amenable to just coming in and kind of sitting with me for a moment. But in November of 2025, yes, there is an incredible demand at our food banks. The government shut down, so mailmen and people that work at airports and TSA and all sorts of people were not getting paid, and that went on for a while. And then, of course, there were all sorts of people not getting the assistance that they would normally get, and so all that kind of wound up on just a crush on the North Township Trustee's office. And Adrian addressed it a little bit there, but then he went on to his own show, which comes after mine, and he talked about it, and I went through all the details. But it's a tough time right now in the middle of November of 2025. And don't forget that you can hear my stuff anytime you want on the Jim Deedlow podcast. All you got to do is go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, see you later.